Okay, this is version 3 of the simple little silver teardrop with tiny little 6mm amethyst beads. We did version 1, it was a little bit crazy. We did version 2, it got a little better, and now we're going to try version 3. This time, this is 16 gauge, so it's a little rough for people who aren't used to it, but it's not that bad. This is silver plated copper, 16 gauge, and I'm just going to take enough for the frame. So I'm going to take a little bit more to be on the safe side. So let's say this is about it's about 8 inches. Okay. So give ourselves our top loop here. And we'll go a little bigger than that. Give ourselves some space to play. There we go. Okay. I think that's good. That's about the same size as one of the stone beads. And alright, we're just gonna bend this around into a teardrop. We're gonna give ourselves a bigger teardrop this time. Get a little bigger with each one. So we have more room to just have fun. Oh, look at that. I cut off just the right amount. So just mess with it, try to get it just right. If you see any sharp corners starting to form, you can flatten them out like this. Just go gently because you don't want to make more sharp edges in the process. That's a nice smooth teardrop right there. Just gonna roll it in a little tighter. I think that's good. Okay, and we're gonna scarf it. Meaning this is the face, and we're going to wrap it around a couple times. Just enough wire. Wow, if I'd cut off any less, I would have had a smaller teardrop than I wanted. Get that nice and tucked. Make sure the sharp edge is gone. Okay. Now, this is 20 gauge, so I'm going thicker in both my frame gauge and my wrapping gauge from last time. You could do this with 18. You could do this with 22 if you want to go a little easier on your fingers if you're new to some of this stuff. Let's see how this works out. I think this is going to be fun. So this time we want to take a lot of this. How much is a lot? Let's say, to be on the safe side, 2.5 feet, almost a whole meter. You can take a whole meter. Maybe I should take a whole meter, knowing me. How I never leave myself enough half the time. Okay. And this is simple. I'm just gonna put the ends together and then come over here and find the middle. And I'm just gonna wrap the middle, just hang it right off of the. I think of this like a person. Like, this is the face, this is the body. Person's been having a lot of pizza, obviously. They're stocking up for that winter hibernation. And there's a cute little scarf. So we're just going to hang this 20 gauge right around his little neck there. Give him like another scarf. And just kind of pull these guys together. Give them a little pinch. So they're stuck right there, not going anywhere else. And you know what? I think he needs more of a scarf. I'm going to back up. Nah, we can do that at the end. We can come back for that. All right, never mind. Let's stay where we are. All right, so I'm going to pull these together, and then I'm going to give this a twist just so that it stays in place. This wire's rolling on me. Okay, maybe 2 twists. Okay, now I'm going to bring these 2 strands together. Get them nice and smooth. Okay. And commence fun. Okay, this is going to be easier for you than for me because I have this camera in my way and I got to be careful not to bang it. But you want to give yourself a lot of room to really stretch out here. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep these strands together, and we're going to wrap cute little loops around our fingers like this. And you can let the strands cross over each other, but I like to keep them side by side like this. So I keep pinching them with my fingernail every now and then so they don't wrap over each other, so they stay side by side. If I go out of frame for a second and come back, it's because I have all these strands and I'm trying to keep them from getting caught on the camera and myself. All right, so here we are. I'm going to start wrapping. And once you get the cute little loop like that, then you roll it. You roll it to the size you want. And I want some tiny, cute little loops. So we're going to go one like this, and then we're going to go wrap one the other way. This is a pattern I do a lot. You can make so many pretty things. You make pretty bracelets just doing this pattern back and forth, little cuffs. You can go really small. You can make cute little rings. But anyway, so now I'm going to swing in here. Actually, no, I want this to go over the face of it. Yeah, I think I'm ready for my first amethyst. So I'm going to slide it onto one of the strands. I can find the hole here. There we go. And I'm going to just put it right where I want it. And then I'm going to pinch these and wrap it around the amethyst with the one strand, not the other strand. I started to do it with both, but that's not working. Okay, so I'm wrapping it around with the one strand there. I'm going to try to get it tight, really try to get it tight. Sometimes you can grab your pliers and pinch it if you're careful not to slip. Just give it a little pinch, a little squeeze, and wrap it all the way around like that. Pretty, right? Now our strands are back together again. And we commence loopage. So we have another loop going on here. And this is basically the whole thing. I don't have a plan. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to do some loops, thread in a little amethyst, do some loops, thread in a little amethyst. I'm going to wrap it around the base every once in a while to secure it and then keep going. Am I going to stay within this structure? No, I'm going to overlap, stick out a little bit and make it kind of funky. But I'm going to fill this up and be sticking out here and there. And then at the end, hopefully I'm going to come to the top and finish it off by wrapping a little higher up on my scarf and then cutting and tucking the last two sharp ends right into the bowl that's created by the scarf. Okay? So to spare you guys the next 10-15 minutes, although some of you I'm sure wouldn't mind watching every second of it, I'm just explaining what I'm going to do. And so now I'm going to jump cut a little bit. Sometimes you don't want to put the amethyst right up against it. Sometimes you do, but sometimes if you give it room, you push it, pull it out a tiny bit more, and then when you wrap the wire around it, you still have some room. You can roll it back and forth to kind of place it where you want. Right here, I'm going to anchor it around the base like that, holding it tight on this side, and I'm coming around like this. Now, as I'm going through here, you don't want to try to take these strands and come all the way through, because you'll actually end up kinking the wire. You want to come through the middle or the bottom of the wire like that, and then you just pull it gently like this, and that way that keeps it from kinking. And then you can smooth it out again if you get any little wrinkles in there. Sometimes you can just go like this, but most of those will go away as you make your next loop. Okay? If you keep alternating the loops. One goes this way, the next one goes that way, and it gives this really pretty pattern. Also, another thing you can do, see how those strands separated a little bit, and it's kind of like a really pretty loop? You can alternate. Sometimes keep the strands together, sometimes keep them separated. And the way to separate them as you're making the loop, pull one strand a little tighter so you get like a tinier loop, and then go a little looser with that, so then they're kind of separate. There's a little bit of an opening going on there. I really should have anchored this one again, and I didn't, and I'm starting to come back up. So I'm just going to take this one strand and just just get him right there. So now he's anchored around the base, and now as I continue, my whole structure is more strong. There's a lot of molding and moving around you can do. I'm already at the top, and I could just scarf it, but I have this empty space here. I could move these pieces closer together to fill in the empty space. Let's see how that would look. See, that's good, but I think I'm going to come back down and put another stone or two in there. So I'm going to come around here just once and use up the rest of my wire. Definitely take a whole meter, because again, I'm almost barely running short, but let's do this. Well, I ended up putting 2 more amethysts, and I'm at the end of my wire. I don't even have enough really. I kind of have enough to go back up and scarf, but the flow is coming back down. I think I'm just going to anchor these 2 right here. So I'm just going to do what comes naturally, which is just wrap this right into the curve it's following right there. And honestly, I'm coming up with this as I go. Like, let's see what happens. We'll pull that through there. And I like that. I like that right there. Sliding a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a teeny tiny curlicue with what's left. This tiny bit of wire. So glad I had just enough wire to finish it, but not enough to come back up and scarf it like I originally planned, which is fine. Totally fine. You just go with what, go with what happens. And for next time, maybe you would give yourself more wire, or maybe you'd be like, this is a pleasant discovery that I like it better when I end it with a curlicue. My 2 favorite ways to end any necklace pendant when wire wrapping is to wrap the scarf and hide the 2 ends there, or to wrap them in a curlicue and then press them in somewhere where it makes a cute accent. So anyway, we're going with that second one now. Now this is a little flimsy. We can use the last bit of wire maybe to strengthen it. I'm also pressing this. I like to press the whole thing into a little bit concave so the edges will lay flat. So I'm just kind of instinctively moving all the pieces as I'm feeling it. I'm also feeling for weaknesses to see if there's any place I need to strengthen up. And if you have no more, you can always add another piece of wire, obviously. But if you have no more wire, you can always sometimes you can kind of bend pieces around and strengthen them that way. That's moving a little bit. All right, so I'm going to wrap this one around this amethyst right here. And that actually strengthens it right away. And you know what? It's coming off a little bit too bunchy right there, so I'm pressing it tighter. I'm going to pull the whole wrap tighter, and that's, believe it or not, that is really strengthening this whole section here. So I'm still messing with it, trying to get that to come down and come around. Just pressing and pulling. There we go. Wire is a really finicky and strange creature. It's not like string or drawing where you can just move it left and right as you see fit. You have to kind of learn how it flows, and once you learn how it flows, the beauty will just come out. But until then, you find yourself fighting it quite a bit, and that's okay too, because as you fight it, you learn when fighting it works and when it doesn't. So I actually think I am gonna scarf this, because that's where the wire ended up, and that makes me happy, because now I get a teeny tiny bit more of a scarf. I think I could cut it right across there and end it, but I think I have enough just to wrap it around right in that last bit, pull it tight, and tuck it in. Now, let's assess this. It's strong, it's fairly stable. I like the pattern, it's pretty. I have these 3 kind of 4 pieces sticking out. I'm going to kind of move them around and kind of move pieces a little bit more where I want them. Make that come out a little more. I really like it. This sticks out too much for me. And this one I'm just gonna fold over a little bit. I can either fold it over or roll it in deeper. I think I'm gonna try rolling it in a little nope, that's not working. I'm gonna fold it over just very carefully. There we go. I tucked that one a little bit. I tucked that one a little more. I didn't fully flip them all the way around. I just kind of tucked them around. Pushed these two in a little tighter, and I'm really liking this. One thing is I'd suggest, decide if you really want to stay within here or if you do want to have the loops kind of come out over the teardrop shape, because you're going to have to adjust it a lot if you're not sure which one you want to do. This is a labor of love between me and the Facebook group, because I got the idea originally from a simple earring from somebody who posted in the Facebook group. I asked their permission. They said, yeah, you can use it. It was fine. And then I made that video. That one was kind of wonky and simple, but it was cute. A bunch of people took that and ran with it and came up with new ideas. I had my own ideas for a second version, and then we came up with an even more interesting one. In fact, let me show you. Here was our first one, and see how these are kind of funky and moving around. They're not totally even, but it's still kind of cute. And that was my attempt at that. And then a bunch of people in the group ran with it and made all kinds of fun stuff. So then I went for a second version using my ideas and a little bit of their ideas. And together we came up with this one, which is elegant, a little fancier. And these videos are available if you want to watch them. They were posted in the last few days. And now we have this third one. And this one was taken very much from a young lady's design in the group. And I'm going to post her name and any of the other names that helped contribute to this, if they're not too shy, in the description. Might not be up immediately, but as soon as I see if they're okay with that. Anyway,